on pattern, stood, dirty, and ghost.
Oh.
So we are in the heart of Appalachia at an undisclosed location that is riddled with all things paranormal. This is my buddy Ryan, and tonight we're looking for not only ghosts, but Bigfoot. One of the most interesting things I've ever experienced with the paranormal happened just behind me about 22, 23 years ago. I was working night shift. I was early in my law enforcement career. I used to come up here to this location. It was quiet when nothing was going on. I would get out of my cruiser. I used to smoke, and I would just walk around and smoke and listen to the radio. This one particular night, just like I had done dozens of other times, as I was leaned up against the hood of my car, out of nowhere, I got this very spooky, creepy feeling came over me. And about 100 yards just in front of me, which was just right over here, something came tearing through the mountains. It came down the hill. It sounded like the whole mountain was coming down, and it was coming right toward me. I left, and I never did feel right after that. That isn't to mention a bunch of other people who would come up here and claim that in the back seat of their car, an apparition would appear if they turned off their headlights, turned off the engine, and sat there. Another creepy thing that happened, and I was an eyewitness to this, me and some other officers, there's a small cemetery just down the mountain. And as we were parked one night just talking, we began to look on this cemetery, and there appeared to be red orbs or lights that would move all over the tombstones. It would just dance around nonstop. And then the electrical system of our cruiser began to short out. It was just going haywire. I also mentioned Bigfoot, and that happened probably 60 plus years ago, about a quarter mile to our left. This is Chipper, by the way. This is Ryan.
Say hey, Chipper.
This is Ryan's dog, Chipper, and he's going to join us on tonight's investigation. Hey. Ryan, one of my best friends, we still work for the same organization, but Ryan worked at the same police department as I did a few years ago. And this is something that happened to our former chief.
I guess probably about a mile or two down the road here.
Not even that far, maybe a half mile at best.
Yeah, I guess in the 60s, his mom, I guess she was out cutting wood or something. And
it was actually her neighbor. Keep in mind, this is a very rural area. Neighbors back then could be
miles away.
Yeah.
The neighbor ended up killing Bigfoot, or so we think. And she said she's a Christian lady and swears up and down that it happened. So
yeah, it's true. Allegedly, her neighbor, one night, he and his family were getting ready to lay down for the night. He'd been chopping firewood earlier in the evening, and his axe was still by the door. Now, mind you, this was 60 plus years ago. They began to hear something on their porch, something that they thought was either a wild animal, maybe a mountain lion or a bear, or a person. So the dad went to the door. When he opened it, he said there was this huge, hairy, bipedal creature. And I'm not sure what followed, but ultimately this guy took the axe and killed this creature. They had no idea. They just described it as a ape-like creature. Again, 1960s, rural Eastern Kentucky. The next day, he goes to town to the sheriff's department and the health department and tells them what happened. A short time later, some officers came and other people, they don't know who they were, who said they were going to take it away and they would contact them to let them know what it was, but it was probably an ape. But that was the last time they ever heard from them. They never seen this creature again. They never heard back from any law enforcement officer or public official. That was the end of it.
They just got rid of it?
We don't know. We don't know what happened. But we are tonight in this same area where all this stuff has happened, and it has never been investigated. So we're going to see what we can contact using some of my equipment. And we may do a few tree knocks to see if there's any more Bigfoot around. Maybe that's what I heard 20-some years ago. So stay tuned and let's see what happens.
So this could be our last night too.
Hopefully not, but stay tuned. We'll find out. I experienced the thing 20 years ago. It was just right over here. I was actually parked right where I'm at now. We're going to use a few pieces of equipment. I've got the Ovilus, the PS device, a REM Pod, and see what we can find.
All right, so we got the REM Pod here and the Ovilus. We're going to see if we can make any contact.
If you don't know about the REM Pod, it creates its own electronic magnetic field, and if anything comes within a certain radius of this device, it will light up, well, like so, and make a noise. It will detect temperature change, and the Ovilus, it's already been going wild, but it has a word database built in, and theoretically, if there are any spirits who want to communicate, they can pick through this word database and communicate. Just right over here is where I heard the thing that came off the mountain. The Bigfoot sighting about a quarter mile that way, not to mention everything else. If there's anything here who would like to communicate with us, Ryan has this device in his hand, and you can talk using this device, the word database. So far, it's picked up on pattern, stood, dirty, and ghost. Ghost.
Oh.
So maybe we're onto something. This device on the ground with the red light, if you walk up and touch it, it'll blink. It'll change colors, and it will let us know that you're here. Does anyone want to communicate? Is there anything here? Lot, book, and ghost. Well, we are kind of in a parking lot. To be honest, folks, you have to, these things will spit out random words. So you kind of got to look for intelligent responses to see if something's really communicating or not. And if we don't get nothing on the Ovilus here in a moment, we'll switch to maybe the PS device or the Spirit Box. I don't know what that, Ryan.
I want to sit this down.
Okay.
You, Kim.
Kim, that is relevant for us. We know why that's relevant. You. So is your name Kim? Is that what you call yourself? Or what's your name? You can speak into that box or choose one of those words and let us know. If you hear whining, folks, that is Chipper. He's running around behind us right now, so that's not a dog spirit if you hear that.
He has a spirit of his own.
He does have a spirit of his own.
Lash.
Zinc?
What's zinc?
Zinc is a metal.
Oh, well, yeah.
Metal.
I didn't know if there's something with the paranormal world I didn't know about.
No, some metals, but zinc's not really one.
Shuttle?
Nighttime shuttle.
I thought that said slut. Sorry.
It's all right. Maybe it is. Ryan right now doesn't have YouTube, but he does have TikTok at
Loggo7 Legend.
Loggo, spell that for everybody.
Loggo 7 Legend.
The number 7. So be sure to check out Ryan.
Yes, the number 7.
And you'll be seeing him a lot more.
Oh.
The REM Pod has been quiet, even though the Ovilus has been burning. I don't know if that's rain coming in the distance or something else tearing down the mountain.
Let's hope for rain.
Yeah. I know you guys probably can't see it, but just right over there.
Soil fog.
It is very foggy out.
E-Y-E.
Oh, yeah.
Is there eyes in the fog up here?
There could be. We've decided to switch gears for a minute. I got the SB7 Spirit Box out. And if you don't know what a Spirit Box is, these things are kind of loud, obnoxious, but it picks up radio frequency. Radio, you'll hear random words, but you're looking for those intelligent words. So if anyone's here and wants to talk, they can use this device and tell me their name. Is there anyone? It's like a female voice. Yeah. I couldn't tell what it said. Also, if you guys hear anything that maybe we missed and you can make it out and we can't, let us know in the comments. Can anybody tell us where we're at right now? I couldn't tell what it said. Where are we at? You say into something?
Into something.
You said into something. That's two times at least I've noticed a female voice come through. So like I said, you can also touch the REM Pod. A couple things came through. It's kind of hard to make out, but I will note that the two clearest ones I thought were a female voice, which is kind of consistent. And we did get the name Kim on the Ovilus.
That makes sense.
So we're going to move over just a little bit, see if anything pops up there. We got some more equipment. And then we're going to see if Bigfoot's in the neighborhood and if he wants to talk. These mountains are very old, very haunted. And if you guys have watched any of my videos on TikTok or Facebook or Instagram, you'll know my theory on ghosts. I don't believe in ghosts the typical way that most people do. I believe ghosts are demonic.
Stay right here.
I think that's the case most of the time. I don't think they're human spirits. And maybe even Bigfoot. And I'll go into more on that later on. But if you don't follow me on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, the Supernatural Sleuth, and my buddy Ryan, you're going to see him a lot on here. Loggo, Loggo, the number 7, the legend. Be sure to follow him because we're going to be doing a lot of YouTube content. We do a lot of TikTok stuff right now. But let me know in the comments what you think about ghosts. Do you think they're human spirits? Do you think they're something else? I'm curious because a lot of people don't agree with me on this, but I'm a devout Christian and I base it on biblical teaching. We're switching gears once again. I now got the PS device. If you don't know what the PS device is, it works very similar to the Ovilus. It has a word database built in, and spirits can choose what words they want to say. Theoretically, they can talk to us. And Ryan also now has the FLIR thermal camera, and he's going to see what he can detect on it. And also, we still have the REM Pod. If you guys can still see it over here, we're going to leave it on. Just kind of hover around this area. We're honestly on top of a mountain at night in the middle of Appalachia. Is there anyone here who would like to talk, or anything here that would like to talk? You can use this device, pick out words. You want to tell us your name, tell us where we're at, and also let us know in the comments where would you like to see us go next. We've got some ideas of some kind of famous or more popular haunted places, but this is an area I've been coming to all my life. I've never investigated, despite all of the activity I personally experienced and other people also. So I'm just kind of curious. This is going to be a shorter investigation. If you'd like to see us come up here and maybe do an overnight investigation, we'll camp out here. Let me know in the comments. Anyone here wants to communicate, you can use this device. Tell us your name, where you're at, what you're doing here, or you can just say hi.
Oh, we found some.
Chipper's. Uh-oh.
That's you.
That's a sexy beast. And I will say, guys, it's been relatively quiet. We had a lot on the Ovilus. The PS device, honestly, this is only the second time I've used it. A couple weeks ago, I was at the Lake Shawnee Abandoned Amusement Park in just outside of Princeton, West Virginia. Very cool, very creepy place. An interesting story, though. I was invited there to their first annual Haunt Fest. They invited me out to speak, and some other pretty cool people in the paranormal world. Great time. It was a bucket list place. I got to knock it off. But the weirdest thing happened. Mind you, again, my beliefs on ghosts are not mainstream. I believe they're demonic in most cases. But about 2 days after Haunt Fest was over, the very place where I stood to give my speech, which was about a 50-minute speech, it burned to the ground. Now, I'm sure that was coincidence, probably, but I don't know. Who knows? Maybe me and Ryan need to go back to Lake Shawnee.
Maybe I need to get back to the golf course.
So this is a golf course. But yeah.
What have you got me into here?
Yeah, so if you'd like to see us go to Lake Shawnee, if you don't know about Lake Shawnee, look it up, Google it. There's a lot of YouTube videos. It's creepy. Right now, it's very, very quiet. The REM Pod hasn't went off once. The Ovilus, a little bit. A couple things maybe on the Spirit Box. You know, you got to look for intelligent responses and answers on those things. I don't believe every word you hear is paranormal, but all in all, I would say it's a very quiet night. If we don't get anything else on these devices, we'll see if Bigfoot's in the neighborhood. Maybe the ghosts are on vacation. Ryan, we couldn't find we're going to try to do some tree knocks. We couldn't find a good stick. We found an old board with some nails in it, but we'll work with what we got. So if you don't know anything about Bigfoot hunting, supposedly Bigfoot, one way of communicating is through tree knocks, which it's basically what it sounds like. You take a piece of wood, a big stick, whatever, and you beat it up against trees, and for one reason or another, Bigfoot will respond by hitting on trees also. So we're going to try that. We still got the REM Pod on. I still got the PS device. And Ryan's going to give us a few hits here, and we'll just see what happens. Swing away, Merle. Awkward. Cut. That's not a stick. That's a stick.
It's a log.
So that first one was kind of awkward. Didn't work out. So we did find this one. Let's see how it works out. Ryan's got his stick, a big stick.
I'm going to get my workout in tonight.
And honestly, I'll be honest, I've not done this a lot. At least not with this. So we'll see what happens. Swing away, Merle. Yeah. That wasn't professional Bigfoot hunting there. Just bear with us. We're just trying this on a whim. But we'll see if anything responds. Still nothing on the PS device. This is, like I said, honestly, the second time I've really used it on an investigation. At Lake Shawnee, it went off almost nonstop. First word hasn't come up this time, which is very odd. Ryan, just a few moments ago, done a few tree knocks. Haven't heard anything. It was a very quiet night. We tried the Ovilus, which I would say we had the most responses on. And some of them kind of, we can't say on here, and I know that sucks for you guys why they were relevant, but
they were.
They were relevant.
Mm-hmm.
The names were relevant. The Spirit Box. There were a couple of things that come through. Couldn't really make out what it was. Again, if you guys can tell what it was, sometimes it's easier to tell watching it back than it is in real time. So let us know if you could tell what was said. And the two that really caught my attention were the female voices, which kind of went along with the name.
The Kim name.
Yeah. We tried the PS device, and honestly, I still have it on, and it has not went off the first time, which is very odd because I've even had it out a few times just when I got it, just to experiment, turn it on, and stuff came through. Not one word tonight, which is odd. And then we even found a couple big sticks. And the first attempt was a fail. I think that's a fail. Kind of embarrassing. Then we found a bigger stick. Kind of embarrassing still because we got drenched. But we did not hear any tree knocks in response, like from Bigfoot or anything else. But I am still happy to do this because I've wanted to come here for a long time. And I don't think we're done with this place. We need to come back. If you guys want us to come back and actually spend the night, do an overnight investigation. And this was all thrown together in the last 15, 20 minutes before dark. I apologize. I know it looks very unprofessional. I promise you this is just thrown together last minute, so bear with us. Let us know in the comments where you want to see us go. And ghosts, Bigfoot, what do you want to see? Be sure to go follow and like Ryan's TikTok, Lago7 Legend on TikTok. And you're going to see him here. And also I have TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, the Supernatural Sleuth. As always, if you have any kind of paranormal evidence, pictures, videos, or stories you'd like to share, shoot me an email, thesupernaturalsleuth@gmail.com. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Have a great night. God bless.